Welcome back to our macroeconomics class. In the last lesson, we learned about scarcity, the basic economic problem that resources are limited, but human wants are unlimited. Because of scarcity, we must make choices. Today, we will study what happens when we make a choice. The big idea for today's lesson is every choice has a cost. Not always about money, but a cost in terms of what we give up. In economics, every choice has a hidden price tag. We call that price tag opportunity cost. It's not just about money, it's about what you sacrifice to get what you want. Whenever you choose one thing, you are simultaneously choosing not to do something else. That something else is the cost. Think about last night. If you chose to study for 7 hours, the opportunity cost was the sleep you gave up. If you chose to sleep, the opportunity cost might have been the higher grade you could have earned by studying. As economists say, choosing is refusing. You can't be in two places at once, and you can't use the same hour twice. This concept is the direct result of scarcity. Since our resources, like time and money, are limited, we must make trade-offs. Without scarcity, there would be no need to choose and therefore no opportunity cost. But in our world, scarcity is everywhere. Crucially, opportunity cost is only the value of the single next best alternative, not every other option combined. If you choose pizza over tacos and sushi, and tacos were your second favorite, only the tacos represent the opportunity cost. Let's look at a classic macro example, the cost of attending college. It's more than just tuition and books, right? Explicit costs are the out-of-pocket expenses like fees, but implicit costs are the wages you didn't earn because you weren't working. For most students, the largest opportunity cost of college is the salary they could have earned during those 4 years. Don't confuse trade-offs with opportunity cost. A trade-off is any alternative we sacrifice. The opportunity cost is the best one. We can visualize these trade-offs using the Production Possibilities Curve, or PPC. This is a foundational tool in macroeconomics. Moving from point A to point B on the curve shows exactly how much of one good we sacrifice to produce more of another. As we produce more consumer goods, we must shift resources away from capital goods. That lost production is the opportunity cost. Why is the curve usually bowed out? That's the law of increasing opportunity costs. As you produce more of one good, you have to use resources that are less and less suited for it, making the cost go up. Imagine switching from making robots to making pizza. Initially, it's easy, but eventually, you're asking rocket scientists to toss dough. That scientist is very expensive and not very good at making pizza. The opportunity cost of those extra pizzas is now very high. If resources were perfectly adaptable, the PPC would be a straight line. This represents constant opportunity cost. If an acre of land is equally good for corn or wheat, the cost of switching stays the same, no matter how much you produce. Let's test your knowledge. Suppose a firm has $1,000 to spend on either a new computer or advertising. If they choose the computer, what is their opportunity cost? Take a second to think. The cost is the $1,200 in profit they could have earned from the ads. It's the value of what they didn't get. Back to the PPC. Any point on the curve represents efficiency, using all resources to their full potential. Points inside the curve mean resources are being wasted, like high unemployment in an economy. In this case, we can produce more of both goods without any opportunity cost, just by putting idle resources back to work. Points outside the curve are currently unobtainable with our current resources and technology. So how do we get there? We need economic growth. This shifts the entire PPC outward. Better technology or more labor and capital allows us to produce more than ever before, reaching those previously impossible points. But wait, there's an opportunity cost to growth itself. Choosing to produce capital goods today means producing fewer consumer goods. We sacrifice present satisfaction for future prosperity. That's the ultimate macroeconomic trade-off. Economies that invest heavily in capital goods now will see their PPC shift out much faster in the future. Okay, now let's wrap this up. Opportunity cost is the most fundamental concept in your macroeconomics toolkit. First, it is always the value of the next best alternative given up. Don't forget the next best part. Second, it only exists because resources are scarce. No scarcity, no cost. Simple as that. Third, we visualize it using the PPC. The slope of that curve tells us exactly what we're sacrificing. And fourth, it includes both explicit cash costs and implicit costs like your time and foregone wages. As you go through your day, try to spot the opportunity costs in your own decisions. It'll help you think like a true economist. Understanding these trade-offs is the first step to making better choices for yourself and for society. Before we wrap up today's lesson, let's talk a bit about a trap many people fall into: sunk costs. A sunk cost is money or time already spent that cannot be recovered. It shouldn't influence your future decisions. If you buy a concert ticket but it's raining and you're sick, the ticket price is a sunk cost. It's gone whether you go or not. The opportunity cost of going is your health and rest. Economists ignore sunk costs and focus only on the next step. Now, let me take this one step further. Let's look at a business. Imagine a tech company has $10 million to invest. They can develop a new app, upgrade their servers, or launch a marketing campaign. Choices, choices. If they choose the app and the marketing campaign was their second favorite, the marketing results are the opportunity cost. This decision affects their future growth and their position on the PPC. Every boardroom weighs these costs daily. Let's summarize today's lesson. Opportunity cost is the value of the next best alternative given up when a choice is made. It exists because of scarcity. It is not always the same as money cost. It applies to individuals, businesses, and governments. Most importantly, opportunity cost helps us think like economists by focusing on trade-offs and alternatives. In the next lesson, we will study topic 1.3, the Production Possibilities Curve, or PPC. The PPC will help us see opportunity cost visually using a simple economic model. And don't forget to complete your quiz challenge on opportunity cost. Now it's time for a quiz challenge. This quiz challenge consists of multiple choice, fill in the blanks, and short answer questions. So, if you're ready, let's begin. Question number 1. What is the best definition of opportunity cost? A. The total amount of money spent on a choice. B. The value of the next best alternative given up. C. The number of choices available. D. The benefit of choosing all available options. The correct answer is B. The value of the next best alternative given up. Opportunity cost is the value of the next best alternative that is given up when a decision is made. It is not always only about money. Here's question number 2. Let's say you have 1 free hour. You can study economics, watch a movie, or exercise. You choose to study economics. If watching a movie was your next best choice, what is your opportunity cost? A. Studying economics. B. Exercising. C. Watching the movie. D. Having 1 free hour. The correct answer is C. Watching the movie. Since your next best choice was watching a movie, the movie is the opportunity cost of studying economics. All right, moving to question number 3. Why does opportunity cost exist? A. Because prices are always too high. B. Because people always make poor decisions. C. Because resources are scarce and choices must be made. D. Because governments control the economy. The correct answer is C, because resources are scarce and choices must be made. Opportunity cost exists because resources such as time, money, and labor are limited. Since people cannot do everything, they must choose. Now, moving on to fill in the blank questions. Question number 4. Opportunity cost is the value of the next best what given up when a choice is made. If you said alternative, you're absolutely correct. Opportunity cost is the value of the next best alternative given up when a choice is made. Now, here's question number 5. Opportunity cost exists because resources are what? All right, if you said scarce or limited, you're absolutely correct. Opportunity cost exists because resources are scarce or limited. Okay, moving on to question number 6. A trade-off happens when choosing one option means giving up what option? If you said another or an alternative, you're absolutely correct. A trade-off happens when choosing one option means giving up another option or alternative option. Great job. Now, let's move on to short answer questions. Question number 7. Explain opportunity cost in your own words. Here's a sample answer. Opportunity cost means what you give up when you choose one option over another. It is the value of the next best alternative. For example, if I choose to study instead of sleeping, my opportunity cost is the rest I gave up. All right, here's question number 8. Can you give one real-life example of opportunity cost from a student's life? You might have said something like this. A student may choose to work part-time instead of studying for an exam. The opportunity cost of working is the study time the student gives up. This could affect the student's exam performance. Great job. Now, moving on to the last question. Question number 9. Why is opportunity cost important in economics? Here's a sample answer. Opportunity cost is important because it helps people understand that every choice has a cost. Since resources are limited, individuals, businesses, and governments must make decisions carefully. It helps economists compare the benefits of a choice with what is given up. Great job! You made it to the end of today's lesson on opportunity cost and completed the quiz challenge. Thank you for watching today's lesson. And remember, economists see the world differently. So keep asking questions and keep thinking like an economist. Until next time, take care.